What are you gonna do about the smaller ditches, Mayor?
The smaller ditches?
Yes, sir.
I'm sure we're gonna cut them.
When?
I don't know which ditch you're talking about. You haven't talked to me about the ditches.
Well, I shouldn't have to keep coming to anybody about the ditches. You should have a schedule. But every ditch in the city's been there ever since the city was founded. They said, you clean one, you should clean them all. I shouldn't have to keep coming to you anybody saying so-and-so called, saying they need the ditches cut. I shouldn't have to do that. No council person in. You should have a schedule to go by. Just like cleaning the grates out. They're clogged up with mud and sand right now. Then when the storm come out, you're trying to clean them for you overtime, go out there and clean them out. You do that before the rain weather stops. But they ride by, they don't do anything about it. All we ask is that the ditch and be clean.
Thank you. Item 5, permission to replace one part-time employee in the city. So, we need to lift the hiring freeze to move forward to hire someone else at the city center. Okay. Any discussion on that? Okay.
We're gonna advertise.
Well, we have a roster that we can hire off of. We have people on the roster that can certainly be on the webpage, be posted. If we have someone within the city who would like to, but that is a part-time temporary.
Not all I'm asking, you said if you advertise. What about another local pay?
Well, that doesn't really spell it out, that that's exactly what it is. Advertising, Kathy, are you here?
I am.
Okay, what does that state?
Technically, for that type of position, there is no need to advertise. We have about 150 people in our reserve of applicants. We can advertise on our bulletin board, we can advertise on the webpage, and we can advertise in the departments. You don't really have to put it in the newspaper. If it were a new position that was being created, I certainly would advertise for it. But a position that we already have available and we have so many people that have put in applications, it's really not
So
necessary.
you're gonna pull from the stat that you have?
Yes, sir. It's,
And the one that's over a year old, what are you gonna do with those applications? Have you?
if they're a year old, the personnel policy, yes, sir, they're discarded.
Any other questions on that?
I would just like, it's a little different from this about advertising, where quite a few teenagers that we would be able to employ to get summer jobs, it made a difference. Thanks to you, Councilman Carter, too, about advertising in the schools for them to get some work to do. And different places want to hire all of them because they can't get out of the streets. And I would ask if we hire them at the minimum wage, and I suppose that I got, but I looked at, we hired that many, you can have a few more people at minimum wage than $10 an hour for them to get together, so thank you for
See, I
that.
think we hired
Thank you.
a couple of your grandchildren.
I don't know. Everybody needs to
Item
work.
6, item 6, mosquito spray. Talk to us.
We have our mosquito sprayer that we have had for several years now, for the most part, spent the last season in the shop. We would call ADAPCO in, they would calibrate it, said it was running, we'd get out, do about half spraying, right back where we went. Ronnie was fixing it more than we were spraying. We are starting to get a lot of phone calls about mosquito spraying. We need to get out there and get it done. I put together a little breakdown that was included in your packages about a couple options. And incidentally, when ADAPCO came back out last year at the very end of the season, they said, it's really God's course. We would recommend that y'all get a new machine and proceed in that manner. And that $13,565 is what you see there for the new machine. That's with our old one being traded in. And keep in mind, we have the mosquito spraying truck that we call it, so that that new system would still stay in that truck. The price breakdown you see for the chemicals, of course, that's already in my budget for a year, so that's not an add. But I just wanted you to see what it would be for this year if we had to buy the new machine, along with the cost that's already associated in the budget. Or we could look at option 2, which is going out for bid for the mosquito spraying. Keeping in mind that it is an overtime issue, because we have to have someone to spray the mosquitoes that's already worked during the day. Because we're not, our manpower is not such that we can let them off for 4 hours on 2 or 3 days a week, every other day, and then come back in and be regular pay. So I just wanted to put it before you tonight and just let you know that's kind of where we are, that if the season is here, and it's here quicker than it usually is because of the rains and things that we've had, and just let us talk about it and see what we can do.
They're already bad in my district, and I can imagine what it's like out at that softball field, baseball fields. And we need to do something quickly, because the longer you wait, the bigger they're gonna get. Some of those kids can get toted off by some of these kids I've seen already. So we don't need to wait on this.
I did do a little bit of just, talking to my peers in other communities, other public works directors about what they do in their cities. And I would say 75% of them do sub it out strictly because of the overtime issue.
Well, the right time to do it is at dusk. You're wasting your time. You do it in the morning or early afternoon. It's just a waste.
What is the skip? How often?
Terry, how often do you do it last
We
year?
do it 5 days a week, 3 hours a day. We start around 5 in the afternoon and usually run till close to 8 o'clock at night, till right before dark.
But that, you can't get all the neighborhoods in that time.
No,
You
ma'am.
stagger it, right?
Yes, ma'am. What we don't get tonight, we start, where we end up tonight, we start there tomorrow.
Right.
And just continue going.
Okay, and you said, if I'm looking at this correctly, a new piece of equipment, $13,000, and then we pay for the chemicals, would we still do the tablets? Or would
Yes.
someone else, we would still do the tablets?
Yes,
to
you put the tablets in
ponds
standing water.
and drainage ditches. Okay, gas for the truck, maintenance and upkeep on the truck and the sprayer, the labor for actually doing this, the overtime, total cost of the person to do sprayer, that came to $17,380. Okay. What, have you ever did this before? Have you ever gotten?
I don't know that this city has ever been mosquito spraying before. Ms. Shanice, did you ever remember?
Do you have any ballpark figure, what do you think? it might be?
Just in talking to, like I said, in talking to some of the peers that have communities relatively the same size of ours, anywhere from $15,000 to $18,000, $19,000 a year.
That's, how is that based? How do they get that?
It's been just like boat spraying. I mean, it's a monthly fee. It's or a yearly fee over a certain period of months. Seasons, the.
6 months.
Yeah, and some of them will divide it on 12 months, even though they're not spraying 12 months, they'll divide it on 12 months for you. It's just really all in how you write the specs, how you want it to come out.
What I think you're Terry's saying though, it's like, all right, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, and however long it takes to do the city, it takes to do. How many actual physical days will it take to do the city and get back to repeating that street, that district? How many days? Is it on a 10-day cycle?
3.5 days, you can cover the whole city.
So every 4th day, you're
You start
repeating
over.
somebody's neighborhood.
Right, you start back to where you originally started.